Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for actually had a lot of views and a lot of positive responses on my video I did for my top 10 favorite actors. So I'm actually going to do another top 10 favorite actors because there's so many of them. I can't, I probably won't ever stop talking about movies and I won't stop talking about media. But what we are going to do today is I want to talk about Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey is probably one of the greatest actors that has ever been in front of a camera, and at no point has he ever disappointed me in any role. And not only do I want to be like Jim Carrey, I I admire his entire like philosophy on life. He's the kind of person. I know he quoted this. I don't know exactly how the quote goes, but he goes, "A flower never thinks about um, how to shine or how to grow. Like it just looks towards the light and then becomes a flower and then it's just a bloom." But Jim Carrey, he's Canadian. You bet you. Oh yeah, yeah, he's a Canadian. Don't you know? And I'm gonna do I'm gonna do Jim Carrey movies right now. He's been in so many. Actually, I'm gonna look him up. That way, I have a reference. But I'm gonna talk about the ones that I actually was looking at. And he's done so many movies, and he's usually typecast as a like stupid, funny guy, comedian that just kind of just he's got really good impersonations, and he's almost as good as Dana Carvey when it comes to impersonations, but Dana Carvey is still a better impersonator. So I can mimic any any actor. I can mimic any voice. I have kind of a nice voice where it comes to it's not too high and it's not too low. So I have a lot of range in my voices. So like I have impersonated Jim Carrey my entire life, and I don't think for one second that Jim Carrey doesn't have uh, the what's it called when you have it's not experience. The guy is a shining star. That's what he is. He's the best. And I know yet my movie or my video last night I made was between Jim Carrey and Jason Bateman, and both of them are my all time favorites. Jason Bateman is typecast though. He doesn't. I don't think he allows himself to open up in too many roles because he's always the same dude. Jim Carrey can open up and shine. He will steal any light that comes. So when the camera's on him, I think that he is a different person, and he's probably for me, he's a painter. A lot of people don't know he's a really good painter. And if you've ever seen any of Jim Carrey, Google it right now. Stop this video and look up Jim Carrey paintings. And his paintings are absolutely astounding. I love his art. And if they ever go on sale, Jim, I will pay any money for any of your paintings because I just love the way you do your art. And it started painting took over his life because he was dealing with a lot of things. And I don't know if he's been blacklisted or been hurt by Hollywood too much, but he people say that he went insane and stuff, but I don't think he went insane. I think he opened up to who he wanted to be, and I, I appreciate psychedelics, and I appreciate a lot of kind of outside the box kind of thinking, and I think at the end of the road, Jim Carrey is always going to be probably my all time favorite actor, or maybe even person. I don't know, uh, because he makes me he hits me like an anvil on a on a sledgehammer, and I don't know if people hate him as much as they used to, or they don't know his movies like I do. But I already rolled for these, so I'm gonna tell you my all-time favorite Jim Carrey movies, and you're gonna be surprised that the list that you are probably making in your mind right now is not gonna be on there. So If you guys have not seen The Truman Show, go watch The Truman Show. I think he probably hits every single he checks every single box when it comes to being a really good actor. He's open. He's a realist. His smile is captivating. His energy just like takes me away. So Truman Show is probably my favorite movie that he's ever done. And not only is it to me a horror movie, it is not a good movie to watch, and it scares the crap out of me. Next is Liar Liar. He plays a lawyer, and he can't tell the truth. So, be me being a professional liar has to be uh, a movie that he has to represent because he plays a lawyer, and they're just paid to lie. And I don't lie anymore. I used to lie all the time. That's why it's kind of a very important movie to me because I could I could manipulate people so easily if I wanted to lie, and I just don't do it anymore. I've been so honest with myself since I believe the date was May 10th, 2009. I've always been honest with myself. So it's been a long time since I've actually lied. I cannot lie to people, and I refuse to lie to myself. So if you cannot lie to yourself, it is impossible to lie to other people. And Liar Liar is probably the best when it comes to the aspect because one of my favorite scenes is when he's in the bathroom and he's trying to lie because he's a lawyer, and he's got the pen and he's like, the pen that I hold in my, and he wants to say red or blue. I can't remember because I'm dyslexic, and he's just like he cannot say it, and you almost can tell that that pen is controlling him, or his, and that scene that scene alone, like when I think about movies, okay, when I think about characters, I really think about the person that they're trying to portray or the story they're trying to tell, and I think that's what movies are about. And in Liar Liar, he plays such a good, like, the pen is like overtaking him, and I want to say it's probably my favorite scene I've ever seen him in, but then I'm gonna just argue with myself and be upset with myself. So if you haven't seen Liar Liar, go see Liar Liar. Um, Al, we actually talked about this. Alaric is one of my favorite subscribers and coworkers. He's probably my favorite coworker. I mean, outside of my wife, of course, but he he's an excellent listener, and he's even better explainer. And he's such a quiet person like me. So I I know I don't seem like a quiet person because I have a YouTube channel and this and that, but if you know me on a personal level and you see me on a personal level on a day-to-day basis, you know I'm very, very quiet. I take in everything. I just watch. I'm a watcher. That's what I am. If I could be anything in a reincarnation, or I was something in another incarnation, I was definitely I was a tree because I could just sit. I could watch the entire world go by me, and I have no problem with just being, just existing is good enough. So, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. I don't even want to talk about that movie because I could probably do a video on that movie alone. And his role in that movie, I want to know. I don't even know who wrote it, but I'm gonna actually look it up after this. But if you haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, um, probably one of my favorite written movies and one of my favorite portrayals by Jim Carrey. Um, Jim Carrey, I can think it's burned a lot in think like, because he's so funny and he's so comical, and people just want to see him be stupid and dumb. Like he's not. He is far beyond that. He's up there. He makes Johnny Depp look like a freaking like a stick figure. That's how good Jim Carrey is at portraying any kind of role that he does. Bruce Almighty. Bruce Almighty. I actually read that he's going to be doing a second movie, another Bruce Almighty, and if you haven't seen that one, he basically gets the power of God. I mean, that's what the movie's about, and of course, I'm gonna say that Morgan Freeman does a little bit better in that movie, but Bruce Almighty is definitely a movie you should go see when you want to look at perception and you want to do some introvertive thinking, and you want to like kind of understand how the world works and operates. If you, anyone wanted to be God, or he does such a good job at being God and having God's powers. So like, go watch Bruce Almighty if you haven't seen it right now. Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon is another movie. He plays Andy Kaufman, who is probably one of my favorite comedians of all time. And if you don't know who Andy Kaufman is, I'm willing to bet that Jim Carrey's one of his idols. I don't know the guy because I've never met him, but if I did meet him and I did talk to him about him, I would ask him about Andy Kaufman, and I bet you he aspired to be Andy Kaufman, because Andy Kaufman is is better than Jim Carrey in a few ways, because I can't you can't take art and say, hey, this person is better than this and this person is better than that, because everyone's got their different portrayal. Like, if I wanted to impersonate Jim Carrey, I could do Jim Carrey better than he can do himself, and that's really weird to say, but if you obsess over something and you love something so much, you aspire to be beyond the person that exists. You know, like, I know there was um Charlie Chapman, you know, the guy with the little mustache. He did a lot of silent films and stuff. He was probably arguably, actually, you know what? I want to do a Charlie Chapman video, but he Charlie Chapman went to a Charlie Chapman impersonation, or like the person like he actually like went to the contest, and I think he came in like 30th. So there was like 29 people that looked more and acted more like Charlie Chapman than Charlie Chapman did himself. And it's just because I think people really care about a certain persona or a certain actor in a certain way. So definitely check out Man on the Moon if you haven't seen it. He's his range goes from here to here, and uh, you forget that he's Jim Carrey in the entire movie. And I think if you can act so well that you don't even recognize the person, it to me it makes you like the best actor. I mean, that's what acting is, right? It's pretending to be somebody you're not, right? And that's why Jim Carrey is probably one of my favorite actors, you know. And we can have the argument about Jason Bateman all day long, and but Jason Bateman is a different kind of actor. So like, that's kind of like, you can't you can't compare art to art. So that's why some of these movies or these videos that I do, like, they kind of, to me, like, it actually I get mad at myself after I do with some of them. I'm like, I should have said that, I should have said that, I should have said that. But that's another reason why I do one cut and I don't edit, because you guys get the full thing, you get the full thought, you get the process of me going. I don't read scripts, you know. I don't look at stuff, you know. I mean, obviously I have a list going on, but I know these things so well that we could sit here and argue all day long, and I could just talk about Jim Carrey like every single day. I just could. So go see Man on the Moon if you haven't seen it. And I want to say that who else played in that movie? An act. She, uh, was it Courtney Love? It was either Courtney Love or Madonna, but like, they had a really good role there too. Um, yes Man. I'm a yes man. I don't ever say no to anybody. So it's one of those things that's probably going to be the end of me, because I say yes to everything, and I'm always down like a clown. I'm gonna give you everything I got, and sometimes it's not enough for people, and that's okay. But if you watch Yes Man, uh, the premises of the movie is he just doesn't say no. And my favorite is when he goes, a scene in that movie is when he like he goes to a rave and he's like he's drinking Red Bull and stuff. So go see Yes Man if you haven't seen it. The number 23. It's not a, to me it was not a dark movie, because I studied numerology so much that the number 23 doesn't mean anything to me. To that's a 5. So if you know what numerology is, if you add up your entire birth date, like your month, your date, and everything in your year, you're gonna come to probably a 2-digit number, and then you have to add those up. Mine comes to like 32, and I'm a 5. So the number 23 appears everything in everywhere, but it's also one of those things. If you're looking for something, you're always gonna find it. So it's the same thing with people that are talking about like hate speech and talking about anger and all this. If you're always looking for something to hate and always looking for something to be angry about, you're gonna find it. Same thing for love and truth and honesty. If you are always looking for that in somebody, you're always gonna find it. So I can tell when people are lying, and I can tell when people are telling the truth. And not only do am I susceptible to that, but I actually can talk them out of their own lies and get them to tell the truth after a certain amount of time. But I have to have maybe about 5 minutes with that person. And I can tell you a lot of people I do not like because they're just compulsive liars. But I can get them to tell the truth after about 5 minutes and then admit a lot of things that they've done. So, um, me, myself, and Irene. Uh, there's another movie. I mean, you guys are like, I've never heard of these movies. I've never watched these movies because you guys think about Dumb and Dumber and you guys think about a lot of things that Jim Carrey does and he like stupid, stupid movies. And he's not a stupid guy. He's not a stupid character. He is, he's the epitome of the best actor of all time. And if I was going to put my hands up and say, who is the best actor of all time? It's Jim Carrey. He can do anything, you know? I mean, Johnny Depp does it too, but he doesn't do what Jim Carrey can do. So, like, a lot of people say that Jim Carrey doesn't have a lot of range because he does a lot of stupid shit, but they don't watch all of his movies. You know, they watch the ones that they've been used to. And if you're watching only the movies they've been used to or you recognize in a character, or if you really love somebody, you should see all of their movies. So the number 23 is not, it's a dark movie, but it's not dark to me. Um, Simon Birch. You guys ever heard of Simon Birch? It's a beautiful movie, and Jim Carrey plays a great character in Simon Birch. That one's gonna get me all choked up if I start talking about it, so I'm just gonna move on. A Lemony Snicket Series of Unfortunate Events. That's probably the only movie that I have written down that he plays like kind of his older characters, where he's like, it's a dark movie to me, super, super, super dark, and he plays such a good bad guy, and he's such a funny person. Seeing him in a bad role to me is one of my favorite things because it shows that kind of range and what makes an actor an actor. He If you guys need to watch any of these movies, watch Lemony Snicket's, and you're gonna see how in every scene, like you're just like, holy crap, he blows me away, absolutely blows me away. So there we are. That's he can impersonate anybody, and I don't think that like Ace Ventura and a lot of the other kind of stupid movies that he's done actually make him shine the way he shines. I think he could do any role, and if I had my pick of anything, I wish he would play more bad guys because I really like seeing him kind of evil, and because he's got this typecast of being like kind of this stupid rubber face funny guy that can do impersonations. But he can impersonate better than he can mimic better than Dana Carvey, and Dana Carvey is probably number two when it comes to impersonations. And I've always aspired to be like Dana Carvey, but Jim Carrey, his uh, his roles can go from up and down, and from scene to scene, he can change like on a dime. And I think that's what makes an actor act, is to be able to change in a moment's time and impersonate and be improv, you know. And if you guys don't like Jim Carrey, I'm sorry, I cannot make you like Jim Carrey. I think you don't like Jim Carrey's because you've seen him in so many stupid movies. So it was your birthday yesterday, Mr. James Eugene Carrey. Happy birthday to you, and you are always on my mind, and I just want to let you know that.